With a health update and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Going over his current contract status, Dirty Dango told the Paltracast, "I signed a year deal with Impact January 2023, I think it was, so about a year ago. I signed a year deal and I just signed another contract which will be up. I just kind of told myself I'd wrestle until I'm 40 and then I was probably going to ease up a bit, but like I tell everybody, it's what I've done my whole life. I don't know how to not be a wrestler, and just being at TNA has made me really fall back in love with wrestling. There's so many great guys, girls there. Just walking in the locker room there, it felt like a reunion because I've known everybody for years and I worked for TNA back in 03, so there's some faces I've known for 20 years. The Johnny Swingers, and I remember running into Scott D'Amore 20 years ago, and great guys like Alex Shelley and Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, and it's one of the best locker rooms I've ever been in. So sometimes you go into a locker room, you don't really know anybody and it's not that much fun, and this is one of those locker rooms you love flying out to and kind of catching up with everybody. Comparing WWE to the NFL in terms of growth, former WCW President Eric Bischoff noted on his 83 Weeks podcast, in WWE's case, I would say that there is an argument strictly from a business standpoint that they're kind of maxed out. I mean, how much more growth can you see with WWE in the United States? Can we see a fourth show in prime time? I don't think so. Doesn't make sense. That's oversaturation. Can we see more volume of PLEs at 20% and 30%? Again, I think you're approaching saturation at that point in interest. We know that the live event interest has changed. You can go to larger venues, but the non-televised live don't make money, so they aren't going to add more. It's like the NFL. Where is the NFL going to expand in the United States? Arguably, they have 100% of the potential market for their product. Anyone who is interested in watching the NFL is watching the NFL, but the potential for growth is beyond US borders, and I think that's what we've been seeing with the NFL, and I think that's what we're beginning to see strategically with WWE. Revealing the initial thoughts that those in WWE had regarding his current character, LA Knight told Chris Van Vliet on Insight there was skepticism at first. Is this really a thing? Is this just going to be a flash in the pan? Is this going to be a flavor of the month? And that's a thing we had talked about and was even talked about with me. Well, we don't want to give it to you too soon because then they might get over it. Look, fine. If that's the case and I'm not good enough to carry that, cool, let's go with that. I understand the idea of wanting to protect me at some point as well, but I have the belief in myself that I could pivot and move and adapt to whatever the situation is. You don't want to give it to him too soon, but if try and not give it to him at all, come on, man. I feel like I'm better than that. And I don't mean that in a boisterous way, but I'm confident in what I do. I'm confident in my skills, and at the same time, I want to be able to fail, because when I fail, I get back up. During that same interview, LA Knight said this about his previous feud with The Miz. Miz was really bringing it to the point where, like, I remember a couple guys in the back just being like, wow, I feel like this is like the best work Miz has done. And while coincidentally, I felt like it was some of the worst work I'd done in a while. I think that feud helped elevate us both in certain ways because, I think it brought out a passion back in him. After revealing that medical clearance had been received for an in-ring return, Gabby Tuft, formerly known as Tyler Rex in WWE, said this about coming back to the company for the Royal Rumble. Well, the possibilities of returning to the ring are absolutely endless. I did go by Dustin Rhodes, and I did hop in the ring. I didn't bump, I didn't run the ropes. There's just a moment where I was there visiting him, saying hi, talking to him, and I said, hey buddy, do you think I stick a toe in the ring? They were doing their weekly YouTube taping, and he said, yeah, come on, let's go. And the second I stepped in that ring, my heart center just opened and I felt all this nostalgia come back. That was the moment when I was like, yep, I think I need to do something about this. So I did have heart surgery in 2019 at Stanford. I had an aortic aneurysm. It's genetic. My mom had it done a year before me. Actually, on the 28th of this month, Stanford is reviewing all of my scans to determine what, if any, limitations I have in the ring. So once I hear back from them, then we'll know exactly what my capabilities are in the ring. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, something's coming. I can't tell you what, but something's coming. As far as the Rumble, wouldn't that be an amazing spot to just poke my head in? When it comes to what is next for Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson in WWE, Ringside News wrote that according to PW Insider, Gable Steveson is scheduled for participation in the upcoming SmackDown television events. However, it is important to note that at this present time, he is not included in the creative plans for the Men's Royal Rumble match. Speaking about his recent return to WWE live events where he had 2 matches against Dominic Mysterio, CM Punk said on the WWE preview special, "It was amazing. We call them live events now, which is how old I am. They were house shows to me, probably always will be. They were my bread and butter. TV is one thing, TV is a whole nervous ball of energy. Everybody is worried about sticking to times on television, and you have a lot of bosses. When I'm on house shows, I don't have a boss. I just have fun. It brings me back to starting wrestling in the first place. The reason why you do it, for some reason you're drawn to do this, and I just got to have fun in a relaxed atmosphere in front of people who were excited to see me, and I got to punch Dirty Dom in the face, all in a day's work." For more information on former AEW World Champion MJF, Ringside News said that PW Insider Elite reports that MJF is anticipated to be absent from the upcoming AEW Dynamite Homecoming. That event will go down in Daly's place without the salt of the earth. It is reported that MJF is currently on vacation in Costa Rica and grappling with injuries. MJF is currently stationed at a considerable distance away from Jacksonville, Florida. Mentioning a potential return to in-ring action for The Undertaker, who retired at the 2020 Survivor Series, former WWE referee Mike Chioda said on his Monday mailbag, "Taker looks in great shape. I know he's had some surgeries done. I think they were successful, and the hip replacement and all that and so forth. I think he's got one more match in him, but please make him go over. Don't do the match unless you're going over, dead man. F building anybody else up. Let them work on their own building themselves up. I hope he does do one more match. I could see him doing one more match." On X, Bully Ray would ask this, writing, "So, what do you want to talk about tomorrow morning at Busted Open Radio?" Former WWE and AEW star Bobby Fish replied, "Red Dragon versus Undisputed Kingdom leading to All In." Bringing up the possibility of The Rock taking on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 as opposed to Cody Rhodes, Mickie James said on Busted Open Radio, "You know, I love Cody. He's my friend, he's my brother, and I'm excited to see him shine. He's freaking killing it. But if I have the option to see, if I had the opportunity to watch Roman Reigns and Cody again at WrestleMania, or Roman and The Rock for the first time ever at WrestleMania, you best believe I'm looking for Roman and Rock. The Rock has carte blanche, in my opinion, in the wrestling business to walk out on any stage to call his shot." As Kevin Dunn departed WWE recently, his replacement was announced by the company yesterday. Apparently, not everyone in the promotion is a fan of this decision, with Ringside News writing, "WWE revealed on Tuesday that Lee Fitting has been appointed as head of media and production, and succeeding Kevin Dunn will be no easy task." Dunn was the long-serving head of production who recently parted ways with the company. PW Insider reports that the hiring of Lee Fitting as Dunn's replacement has caused a stir within the production and TV departments. Some expressed expressed discontent with an outsider assuming a leadership role, while concerns lingered about potential changes and the prospect of fitting, bringing in external personnel, potentially affecting WWE staff. Others have reportedly adopted a wait-and-see approach, and there were individuals disappointed by the decision not to promote from within, citing Executive Vice President of Television Chris Kaiser and Lighting and Set Director Jason Robinson as worthy internal candidates. Taking to Instagram, CJ Perry, who underwent surgery on her finger due to an infection, wrote, "On my way to the hospital again because complications happen with healing and infection possibly coming back. I find out soon if I need a second surgery." Giving an update on the health of Charlotte Flair after she underwent knee surgery days ago, Ringside News noted, PW Insider reports that the injury is believed to involve a strained neck, and it adds to her recent health challenges as she underwent surgery for a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus suffered during the December 8th SmackDown episode. The Queen's current recovery timeline is estimated at 9 months, which is what WWE originally said upon her injury announcement on SmackDown. It was also noted in the report that Charlotte Flair is expected to leave Birmingham later this week. Barring any unforeseen complications, Charlotte Flair's return to the ring is targeted for the fall of this year. Touching on his recent conversations with the Velveteen Dream, who recently apologized for his past transgressions, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I talked to Patrick Clark about 3 months ago. He reached out to me. He was trying to figure out maybe a way to get back into the business. I told him to give me a call, and I don't know, something happened. I don't know what happened. I hadn't talked to him, but I was warning that myself. I wonder if this kid could get back in the business. I knew Patrick Clark before he was on Tough Enough. I knew him as a kid. Then when he got on Tough Enough, I was like, man, this kid has got so much talent. Then when he got to NXT and created that Velveteen Dream character and gimmick, I was like, man, this is money. This is gold. This thing could go a long time for years." It was a throwback like Macho Man Savage, something like that. It was kind of like a throwback gimmick that he made work, but I don't know, man. I wonder if there's a way back in the business for him. But I tell you, it's going to be hard. He's going to have to put it in a whole lot of work, because one thing I said when I came home from prison, I said I didn't expect people to trust me. I said I got to earn people's trust. People are going to look at me like I'm a criminal, and that's the way they should look at me. It's going to be up to me to prove myself. So if I could tell Patrick Clark anything, don't quit. Get out there and just earn it. Something like that, you gotta earn it. A spot is not something that, well, everybody should get. I really feel like in certain situations, especially in a situation like he's in right now, he's gonna have to earn his way back. And it's gonna take a lot of hard work. It's gonna take getting someone to trust you. I'm not even talking about all the way back to the wrestling business. I'm just talking about in general. Brother was definitely going through some troubled times. So finding his way back, it would really be a remarkable thing. Revealing that he will be in on the action for an OVW event, Mick Foley could be seen in this video.
Hello, OVW fans. This is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and I'm excited to be here, man. I got caught up like a lot of people in the documentary, so I'm here not only to check things out, but to play a little minor role in the show today. We are sold out, man. They are hanging from the rafters. We're going back to like Ricky and Robert type days. Brother, you never seen so many people. Just in case Steve Austin's watching, he's the one guy that'll get that reference. But I'm really excited. There's a buzz around OVW, the likes of which I haven't seen in a long time. I'm looking forward to a great show. The only way to watch it is to stream it at ovwrestling.com. So find out what all the attention is about. That's why I'm here, and hopefully you'll tune in to find out for yourself. Just have to warn you, once you try it, you might get hooked, and I'm not responsible. Have a nice day.
Talking about her heel character in AEW, Skye Blue said on Talk is Jericho, "I did not expect it at all. Me and Willow Nightingale were talking about wanting to tag, being a tag team, and trying to make a tag division because there are not a lot of women's tags here yet. But we can do that. They presented the idea, you're going to get misted. Does that mean I get to be spooky? Yeah. Have you ever been a heel? No. I had always wanted to be a heel on the indies. When they said eventually, I was so excited. There would be days where you would not know, maybe, maybe not. Please, I want to challenge myself. I want to learn how to be a heel. I want to learn every aspect of wrestling and do as much of it as I can. I was super excited. I feel me and Julia can be a really cool tag team, the blonde brunette duo, and we're both super young. Bringing up how Adam Copeland helped him with his promos, Swerve Strickland told Wrestling with Freddie, yeah, Copeland's been my mentor for the last 2 to 3 years ever since I met him in NXT, another guy that really brought that same type of mentality to me, but put it in the ring since. I'll credit 2 people for this, definitely Adam Copeland as far as promoing and characters because we share content like sending YouTube videos on breakdowns of characters. It was Terry Taylor who really taught me how to bring it in the ring and showcase the person. You have to showcase that you're a person and the feel of it before it gets to action and fighting in moves and spots and running, jumping, and diving. With Cody Rhodes releasing his future dates for WWE on X, Ringside News noted that starting on January 1st in San Diego, California, which was the Day 1 episode of WWE Raw, Cody Rhodes will be taking his talents to various places, including Spokane, Washington on January 6th, Wenatchee, Washington on January 7th, and Portland, Oregon on January 8th. As he continues his journey, Rhodes will be in Lincoln, Nebraska on January 12th, Las Cruces, New Mexico on January 13th, and Rio Rancho, New Mexico on January 14th. The tour extends to Little Rock, Arkansas on January 15th, followed by stops in Atlanta, Georgia on January 18th, Montgomery, Alabama on January 20th, Jackson, Mississippi on January 21st, and New Orleans, Louisiana on January 22nd. Then the final leg of the tour includes a show in Tampa, Florida on January 27th for the Royal Rumble event in Tropicana Field, with another in Tampa, Florida on January 29th for WWE Raw after the Royal Rumble. When it comes to a recent signing for AEW, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, though we aren't sure if it's full-time or tiered per appearance, she's been appearing for AEW for over 2 years, competing in over matches along the way. She actually picked up a win in September 2022 on AEW Dark when teaming with Skye Blue and multiple ROH wins. Speaking about his domination of Twitter the other day as he ended up responding to AEW President Tony Khan, Jinder Mahal told WWE's The Bump, I'm a little bit offended. More or less, I've been overlooked. I feel overlooked. I'm really frustrated at the fact I was doing my part in helping the next generation focusing on in-due share, but then I see superstars like CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes really be the highlight of Raw, and seems to me that the people forgot about the modern-day Maharaja, the former WWE champion. I was trending all day on Twitter all day yesterday. Somehow, again, the modern day Maharaja is the talk of the town. Staying on the topic of Tony Khan's activity on social media recently, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said the Tony Khan tweets have been brought up among some we've spoken to in Jacksonville, but they claim it wasn't a heavy topic of discussion as much as it was last night. As Kevin Patrick has been made the sole play-by-play commentator for SmackDown, reactions were given by Ringside News, who wrote, according to reports from PW Insider, there are individuals within WWE who are closely monitoring Kevin Patrick's performance, especially now that he is the lead play-by-play commentator for SmackDown without Michael Cole by his side. There appears to be a sense within the company that Patrick needs to demonstrate his abilities and make a strong impression in his new role to solidify his position as the lead commentator for the Blue brand. revealing that an offer was made by WWE to sign him. Will Ospreay, who is with AEW, told Land Pitt of GameSpot, "I want to know what I'm doing within the ring, and the rest for me is easy. What more could you want from a boss? There's something for me to climb, there's something for me to build upon. The first match with Chris Jericho, who is one of the biggest wrestling stars in the world, was probably the biggest star in the company at that time. I want to progress from that. I want to see what other bucket list items I can tick. I want to go for championships. I want to go for world titles. I want to see what I can actually do because I've never been put in these situations." New Japan is a sports-based wrestling product. It isn't really known for its on-screen personalities, so this is all new for me, and I just want to test myself. I want to try my very best to swim in waters I'm not very sure of, so for me, this is all a challenge. Explaining why he feels Mercedes Moné will not help boost business in AEW, Eric Bischoff noted on his 83 Weeks podcast, "How many times have we seen big names come from WWE to AEW and people speculating about how it's going to impact the business and what's going to happen, and nothing happens. It doesn't matter who you bring in there." And I made the comment, I'm going to make it again, AEW is quickly becoming TNA, and I got nearly 1 million views on that comment, and out of the probably 500,000 responses, everybody buried my comment and me along with it. But this is a perfect example of what I meant. We've seen so many big names come into AEW. Pick one. Let's put CM Punk off to the side. Pick any other one. And the net impact on the growth of the business other than selling t-shirts has been zip. Nada. The television audience continues to deteriorate while WWE continues to grow. You look at their ticket sales outside of anomalies or outliers, I should say, like the UK, and they're not doing nearly as well as they were in the past there. Have you looked at their Dynamite shows? Just, check out WrestleTix on social media and you can see their ticket sales. And they're playing in 10,000 to 15,000 seat venues, but they're scaling them down to 4,000. And a week before the event, they haven't sold out yet, so it doesn't matter. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.